Okay guys, now we've got listening section 2 and listening section 2 sometimes there is one person, it can be audio commentary, one person talking, sometimes it's a dialogue, but mostly it can be one person, but otherwise it can be a dialogue. Questions 11 and 12, choose two letters A to E. What two advantages, underline two advantages. Does the speaker say Rexford University has, underline Rexford University. For the students he is speaking to. Now there are 5 options, it's called double multiple choice. Out of 5 options there are 2 advantages. Now let's see what are those advantages and speaker will talk about those advantages. Now what does it mean? For example, option A, higher than average result in examinations. Underline higher than average results. Now if he says our result is quite average and sometimes it is lower, will that be the answer? No. So the option which is wrong, they will speak about it negatively or oppositely. Option B, good transport links with central London. Good transport links. Now if he says we've got a number of buses to London and you can always find it convenient to go to London using one of these buses, then this is the right answer. And if he says, well, at the moment we don't have any good transport service, we've got only 1 or 2 buses and they are very slow, then this is not the answer. Both. For 11, 12 you have to select 2 options out of 5. Right? Whatever 2 options you select, they may go for 11. For example, if the answer is A, B. So you can decide 11A, 12B or 11B, 12A, both ways your answer is correct. Okay, near London airport. If they say, well, I'm afraid it's a little far from London airport, will that be the answer? And if they say it's very close to London airport, or if they say it's only a few kilometers from London airport, then this is the right answer. Do you understand? The options which are wrong, they will discuss them negatively or oppositely. Special government funding. If they say one of the benefits that this university offers you is special funding from the government, so those of you who cannot afford to pay your fee, we've got this option available. And if this says, well, we are trying to get special funding from the government, at the moment it's not available, but we hope it's going to be available after a couple of months, will this be the answer? No. See, this is what you need to understand. Then good links with local industry. Local industry means the local companies and local industry. So if they say we've got good links with the local industry, that is the answer. If they say we are trying to build some good reputation with the local industry, so that might take some time, so that will not be the answer. Okay. Now, another thing, they will discuss all these options, but they will not discuss them in order. Don't expect that first they will discuss option A, then B, then C. That's the main problem. They may start. So first, you will catch the option which is being discussed. Second, you will decide whether that option is the right answer or wrong. If it is the right one, put a tick at the end of the option. If it is the wrong one, put a cross at the end of the option. And if you don't understand, put a question mark. So that later on when you're going to guess your answer, you know this question mark thing, you know tick and cross thing and all that. So 2 advantages Rexford University has. Has means present. If they say last year we used to have special government funding last year, will that be the answer? No, because that is last year. If they say anything related to future, even that will not be your answer. So let's start. Yes, why not? Grant, funding and grant, yeah. Okay.
Section 2. You will hear an admissions officer from a UK university talking to a group of postgraduate students in a university abroad about applying for a place at his university.
As I said earlier, there is, I think, at Rexford an excellent combination of physical and geographical advantages. As well as having a rural setting and still being close to central London, something that will certainly be of interest to you is that Rexford is just 35 minutes from London Airport. At Rexford, we have a strong research capability. We came 7th out of 101 universities in last year's research assessment carried out by a government body and did particularly well in your particular subjects, engineering and science. Actually, we got a top research grade of 5 for engineering, geography and computer sciences. One further point, and I know from talking to you individually that a number of you may be looking for some experience in industry after the course, is that all our science and engineering research departments have unusually close relationships with industry in the area. Anyway, that's enough sales talk from me. I'll just take a sip of this coffee that's just arrived, thank you, and then I'll say something about what actually happens when you apply.
CA. A is higher than average results in examination. They didn't say higher than average results. Correct answer is first C, near London Airport. What is the word for that? 25 minutes is? 35 minutes, right. And then they said good links with local industry. So the correct answers are C and E. Now on your answer sheet you can write 11, C, 12, E, or E. In any order you can write. You can even write 11, E and 12, C. Now please listen to it again.
Section 2. You will hear an admissions officer from a UK university talking to a group of postgraduate students in a university abroad about applying for a place at his university.
As I said earlier, there is, I think, at Rexford an excellent combination of physical and geographical advantages, as well as having a rural setting and still being close to central London. Something that will certainly be of interest to you is that Rexford is just 35 minutes from London Airport.
Okay, that is option C. And good transport links with central London. He used central London, but he did not talk about transport links. Okay, so central London, London Airport is first correct answer. Now, please come to option D.
At Rexford, we have a strong research capability. We came 7th out of 101 universities in last year's research assessment carried out by a government body.
Okay, the research assessment carried out by a government body. Did they talk about funding? No, so it's not D. D is not the right answer because D is special government funding, but they talked about research body. Okay, now move on to option A.
And did particularly well in your particular subjects, engineering and science.
Okay, so higher than average results in examination, they didn't mention that.
Actually, we got a top research grade of 5 for engineering, geography and computer sciences.
Top grade of 5, but it's not higher than average result in examinations. It's not examinations. Now please come to option E, E for elephant.
One further point, and I know from talking to you individually that a number of you may be looking for some experience in industry after the course, is that all our science and engineering research departments have unusually close relationships with it.
Unusually close relationship. What is that? Good links. Unusually close relationship, that is good links with
industry.
Industry. So E is the second right answer. All good? Yeah, and you should practice like this. When you have the wrong answer, at the end play the audios again. Okay, now we've got questions 13 to 15. Complete the notes below. Write no more than one word for each answer. No number, nothing else, one word. And if a word contains hyphen, it is treated as one word. Absolutely. So, no more than one word for each answer. When application is received, confirmation will be sent. Okay, no question here. Application processing may be slowed down by. Now listen, there are two reasons by means of which application processing will be slowed down. One is postal problems. When they talk about postal problems, you have to be alert because right after that they will be your answer. And this is very important. You should know when answer is going to come. If you don't know, then you will never be able to write the answer. When they say, well, first of all, there are some postal problems. Sometimes it takes 2 to 3 weeks to send and receive the letters, something like that. And then they might use the word secondly, or they use the word another problem. And what is that? Delays in sending dash. Delays in sending what? That will be your answer. Delays in sending fee. Delays in sending feedback. Delays in sending something. Okay? And for sending, they may use any other word. And for delays, they may use the word it takes a long time. It takes a lot of time. Right? Let's see.
Right. Now, if you do decide to make an application, what you do is send it directly to me in my department. I will then immediately send confirmation and the application process begins. And I'd like to say at this point that you shouldn't worry if this process doesn't work all that quickly. I mean, occasionally there are postal problems, but most often the hold-up is caused by references. The people you give as referees, shall we say, take their time to reply.
References. Yeah. Now the answer came first. Explanation came later. Please focus again.
Right. Now, if you do decide to make an application, what you do is send it directly to me in my department. I will then immediately send confirmation and the application process begins. And I'd like to say at this point that you shouldn't worry if this process doesn't work all that quickly. I mean, occasionally there are postal problems.
Occasionally there are postal problems. Now the answer will come.
But most often the hold-up is caused by references.
Most often the hold-up is caused by references. What is the word for delays? Hold-up. Exactly. Got it? Hold-up is caused by references. So delays in sending references, that is the right answer.
Shall we say, take their time to reply.
Okay, next. University tries to put, question number 14. University tries to put international applicants in touch with a student from the same dash. Student from the same dash. Right? Student from the same department, student from the same subject, student from the same area, or anything like that. Just focus, student from the same dash who can give information and advice. So.
Anyway, it's absolutely normal for this process to take 3 to 4 months. What I do in this period is keep in touch with you and reassure you that things are moving along. One of the ways we've devised to help you decide about applying, as well as later when you've been accepted, hopefully, is to put you in contact with, if possible, a student from your own country who is at present studying with us.
A student from your own country. Now, from your own, what is the word for that? Same. Every time you do listening, you got to find out these things. And this is how you will develop the vocabulary, language of question booklet and language of audio. And these two languages are entirely different in wording, but absolutely same in meaning. Okay? So for same, they use the word own. From your own, and answer is country. Next we have academic atmosphere, leisure facilities. They will speak about it directly. No problem at all, right? And then English dash and food. Two things. English people and food, English environment and food, English society and food, anything like that. So this English is not English as a language. This English is adjective for English people, English food, English restaurant, English movies, like that. Just stay alert when they use the word English.
Not only the academic atmosphere, but important details like what the leisure facilities are like, and whether the English weather and food are really as awful as everybody says.
All right. English, weather, and food. So answer is W-H-E-E-A-T-H-E-R. Well done. Weather. Okay, guys. Now we've got the real fun multiple choice questions. Multiple choice questions are easy for some students and difficult for other students. Easy for those who are gonna do fluke, tukka. 16, A. 17, C. 18, B. Why B? Because we did not use B before, okay? Something like that. So for these type of students, they are easy. And when you check your answers, out of 5 questions, only 1 right. Or maximum 2 right answers. So otherwise, the students who try to understand, for them, it's a bit confusing. Why confusing? They discuss all 3 options. Number 1. Number 2, they talk about 2 options negatively or oppositely. Once you learn to identify those options which are discussed negatively or oppositely, you can easily find your answer. Whenever you will select a wrong answer, you are going to be trapped. So, question number 16. Speaker says, international students at UK universities will be. Now, what will happen to international students? How many of you want to study abroad? Raise your hands. Once you reach there, you will get a title of international student. Right? Over here, you are a local student, but there you will become an international student. So, speaker says international students in UK universities will be A. Offered accommodation with local families. Now, underline accommodation with local families. That's fine. Yeah, you will live with local family. Local family means English family. Right? More opportunities. English family. All right. Option B. Given special help by their lectures. Underline special help. Option C. Expected to work independently. Underline work independently. Got it? Now when you read the options, you will go through the options very quickly and underline 1, 2 or 3 words. If options are long, then 4 words. Now have you noticed one thing over here? All the options are starting with the verb. For example, offered accommodation, given special help, expected to work independently. And what have we underlined? Accommodation with local families, given special help, work independently. Now they will discuss these options, right? And let's see, 2 options are wrong. So
Now, to move on to the other concerns you expressed earlier. At a UK university, as I'm sure you know, you will be in an environment where independent learning is the norm, which takes most students a while to adjust to, and at a time when you will be separated from your normal surroundings, and in most cases, your family. This can be a difficult time. But remember that something like 25% of our student body are international students like yourselves, and that there are several organisations in the university and city whose main purpose is to offer help and ensure that your time with us is enjoyable and useful.
okay, offered accommodation, what happened there? Okay, I'll play this one again. Please focus.
Now, to move on to the other concerns you expressed earlier. At a UK university, as I'm sure you know, you will be in an environment where independent learning is the norm.
Okay, you will be in an environment where independent learning is the norm. Expected to work? That's right. Do you understand? Okay, now they are going to talk about the other options. Now, option B, given special help by their lecturers? They didn't mention that because they said independent learning is the norm, and that is option C.
Which takes most students a while to adjust to, and at a time when you will be separated from your normal surroundings, and in most cases, your family.
Your families. Now, are they local families? Accommodation? No. You will be separated from your families. That is why A is the wrong answer. Why B is wrong? Because of independent learning, independent studies. So the correct answer is C. Let's go on. Question number 17. What does the speaker say about university accommodation on campus? Underline university accommodation on campus. What does it mean? That in the university there is a hostel. So what does he say? Most places are given to undergraduate students. Underline most places given undergraduates. So if they say most of the rooms are allotted to undergraduate students. This is the right answer. Option B, no places are available for postgraduate. Underline no places available postgraduates. You understand undergraduate, postgraduate, right? And limited number of places are available for new postgraduates. Limited number of places. So most places, no places, limited number of places. Now you got to focus that. Let's see.
One or two of you touched on the subject of accommodation earlier, so I'll just add a few points. It is the university's policy to give priority in the allocation of residence places to 3 categories. And those are visiting students, exchange students, and new postgraduate students. However, demand exceeds supply, so there is still a need to put your name down early for campus accommodation, particularly if your family is accompanying you. This means that the earlier you decide whether you want to study with us, and so get the procedure moving, the better it will be for everybody.
All right, why C? Limited number of seats.
One or two of you touched on the subject of accommodation earlier, so I'll just add a few points. It is the university's policy to give priority in the allocation of residence places to 3 categories. And those are visiting students, exchange students, and new postgraduate students.
Okay, visiting, exchange, and new postgraduate. From here we understand they didn't mention anything about undergraduates, right? They only talk about new postgraduates. Exactly. So you from one point you can understand it's C. Now let's go on.
However, demand exceeds supply.
Demand exceeds supply. What does it mean? Limited number of places. Demand exceeds supply.
Down early for campus accommodation, particularly if your family is accompanying you. This means that the earlier you decide whether you want to study with us, and so get the procedure moving, the better it will be for everybody.
Why A is wrong answer? They didn't mention undergraduates. Why B is wrong? It's postgraduate but not new postgraduate. And why C is right? Because of new postgraduates and because of limited number of places, right? You will start to understand these things through practice, don't worry. Okay, question number 18. Students wishing to live off campus should apply. Off campus means outside the campus. Should apply several months in advance. If we say 6 months before, 1 year before, 4 months before, that is several months in advance. 2 or 3 weeks in advance, 2 or 3 weeks. And at the beginning of term, term means your semester. In the beginning of your semester, several months in advance or 2 to 3 weeks in advance. Now whatever they say, when should you apply?
Yes.
What if you would prefer to live outside the university?
If you're planning to live off campus, you've got to sort things out even earlier. As with everything in short supply, the good accommodation gets snapped up months before the beginning of term. In other words, if you're starting in October, you need to be thinking about it in June, or at the very latest July. So you do need to think very carefully about what you need, how much you can afford to pay well in advance.
So, A. Why A? Several months in advance. It's not 2 or 3 months because they use the word June and all that. It's not at the beginning of term. Please listen again.
Yes.
What if you would prefer to live outside the university?
If you're planning to live off campus, you've got to sort things out even earlier. As with everything in short supply, the good accommodation gets snapped up months before the beginning of term.
Months before the beginning of term. Now, not at the beginning of term. What is it? Months before beginning of terms. For months before, they use the word several months in advance. So, A is the right answer here. Question number 19. University accommodation officer will. Now, just focus. University accommodation officer will send a list of agents. Underline list of agents for students to contact. Contact accommodation agencies for the student. Now he himself will contact the accommodation agencies and ensure that students have suitable accommodation. For ensure, they use the word make sure. Now listen, very simple. What is it that accommodation officer will do? Option A, he will send a list of agents, list of property dealers, that this is the list, call karke book kara le. Option B, contact accommodation agencies for students. He himself contacts that I'm talking on behalf of a Pakistani student who needs accommodation. Do you have anything? And option C, ensure that students have suitable accommodation. Like he's going to make sure means that is his responsibility. So whatever he's going to do, that will be your answer.
What you can't do is leave it until a few days before the start of term. The agencies in town are pretty good. It's just a matter of contacting them in good time. Of course, we have a full-time accommodation officer available to help all students. She'll get in touch with you when you're accepted. She's got plenty of contacts in the town and will deal with the agencies on your behalf.
Will deal with the agencies on your behalf. Which option? C is ensure that students have suitable accommodation. No, he will deal with agencies on your behalf, contact accommodation agencies for students. Now for students, they use the word on your behalf, and your means he's talking to students. B is the right answer. Question number 20. With regard to their English means students' English. And what students are they? They are international students. The speaker advises the students to tell their lecturers if they have problems understanding. Says, sir, I don't understand your English. You speak British English, I speak Punjabi English. Okay? Have private English lessons. Underline private English lessons. Like in the evening, 2 hours spoken English class. And C, practice their spoken English before they arrive. Means before they come to England, they have to practice their spoken English in their home country. So with regard to English language, the speaker is that person who is talking, advises the students. Whatever his advice is, that will be the answer. Option A is tell the lecturer. Option B is private English lessons. And option C is practice their spoken English before coming.
One or two of you asked me earlier about your level of spoken English. Obviously, most of you have already achieved a lot. I wish I could speak your language half as well. Having said that, though, I'm afraid the lecturers will make little or no allowance for the presence of non-native speakers in the audience. So, anything you can do to improve your spoken English, even beyond the pretty high levels most of you have already reached, will help make your stay with us that bit more fun for you. Some extra practice before you arrive is worth more than, for example, private lessons afterwards when you won't really have time.
Private lessons, option? Yeah, option B is a very good trap, and for their lectures, he said lectures will not take care of it. Lectures will not see that this gentleman does not understand what I say. They will speak normally. Correct answer is C. Please listen to it again.
One or two of you asked me earlier about your level of spoken English. Obviously, most of you have already achieved a lot. I wish I could speak your language half as well. Having said that, though, I'm afraid the lecturers will make little or no allowance for
The lecturers will make little or no allowance. Little or no allowance means they will not care. Whether you understand English or not, they will deliver their lecture in English. So option A is wrong because that is tell their lecturer. They don't need to tell their lecturer because they are not going to take any allowance of that.
the presence of non-native speakers in the audience. So anything you can do to improve your spoken English, even beyond the pretty high levels most of you have already reached, will help make your stay with us that bit more fun for you. Some extra practice before you arrive
Some extra practice before you arrive
is worth more than, for example, private lessons.
Is worth more than private lessons. Means you don't need to attend private lessons if you practice at home. So C is the right answer here. Okay. Let's take a start. Section 2. Now we have multiple choice questions in section 2, and let me tell you, multiple choice questions may appear in any section of IELTS. Never think if you see multiple choice in part 1 and you say, well, there is the new pattern. Right? 2 of my students, they've done that. They saw multiple choice in part 1. They said, okay, this is the new pattern. Sir taught me old pattern. So now I can't find my way out. So remember, multiple choice questions I've seen in Cambridge IELTS books in part 1, 2, 3, 4. So they can be anywhere. It's got nothing to do with the pattern. IELTS has same standard pattern, and this pattern's been going on for around 20 years or more than that, 22 years. They have the same pattern, okay? Now, let's see. Section 2, questions 11 to 14, and we have multiple choice questions, and through these 4 questions, I'll give you the core concept of multiple choice questions. In multiple choice questions, your success depends on finding the traps, not looking for the right answer. No, there is one right answer, but there are 2 traps, 3 options, right? A, B, C. So they almost talk about all 3 options. 2 options are discussed negatively or oppositely. Just mind these words. 2 options are discussed negatively or oppositely. One option is discussed positively, and that is your answer. So sometimes the other options which are wrong, they use the same wording, but they only use not. They only use nor. They only use we considered, we thought, we wanted to. Or they use the wrong options in the question. They make a question of that, and then the answer is no, right? So I'll just tell you all these things. Question number 11, the next event at the hotel will be. Next event will be. Now, whatever the last event is, that will not be the answer. Whatever the current event is, that will not be the answer. The event is the next event. Now, for the next event, they can use the word coming event, upcoming event, or they say tomorrow we have an event, or in the next 2 days we have an event. So anything like that. Now, what are the events? Trade fair, wedding, and party. Whenever you get multiple choice questions in part 1 or part 2, you usually get short options. When it is in part 3, then options are long, and in part 4 also long options. So let's see. Question number 11, please. And one more thing. A, B, C, 3 options. These options will not be discussed in order. They will not speak about A, then B, then C. They might start from C. Then they will go to A, and then they will come to B. An answer may appear anywhere. It can be the first option they discuss, the middle option, or the last option. Okay? So let's see.
You will hear a hotel manager talking to her staff about the arrangements for an event to be held at the weekend.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all feeling okay after the activities of the last week or so. I know you've all been working very hard recently, and we've been exceptionally busy, especially with the wedding last weekend and the trade fair straight after that. And now we have only 3 days to prepare for the birthday party this weekend.
See that? And did you notice how last week wedding and a trade fair right after that? So if you denied both, you are left with the right answer. And you should do one thing. Take the right option and cross the wrong option. If you successfully cross one of those, success rate will be 50-50. 50-50 che tukka bhi lag jayega. Okay? Yeah. So you should do that. So the correct answer is party. And the order in which they spoke, that was B, A, C. First they discussed B, then A, and then C. Now, question number 12. The number of guests will be, it's a technical question, number of guests will be less than 50. Any number that they say less than 50, 49, 25, 20, or less than 50, that is option A. B, from 50 to 100 means between 50 and 100. It can be 70, 80, or up to 100. 100 is included. And last is C, more than 100. For more than 100, they might say above 100. Now, how do they talk about it? They might say like this, that although we've got sitting capacity for more than 100 people, But this party is a medium-sized party. First, they wanted to invite 50 people, but now they are not sure about it, so the number of guests may vary between 50 and 100. That is option B. So like this they talk, okay? Let's see.
The events recently have gone extremely well, and the hotel is beginning to get a very good reputation, so we need to keep it up. At the moment, we don't have exact numbers of guests, and though we usually only cater for groups of less than 50, we will have quite a few more than that. So, as I said, not sure of numbers, but of course we won't go over the maximum of 100.
See? All right. You are so innocent, huh? Okay, correct answer is C. Just a second, just let me catch the thief. No, it's A. No, it's B. Absolutely, it's B. Yeah, I'm going to play this audio again. Don't worry. I'm here. I'll satisfy you all. So please listen.
The events recently have gone extremely well, and the hotel is beginning to get a very good reputation, so we need to keep it up. At the moment, we don't have exact numbers of guests, and though we usually only cater for groups of less than 50,
We usually only cater for groups less than 50. We usually. But about number of guests, she said we are not sure. So A is the wrong option. Cross it here. Just a little cross at the end of A. Now we are left with B and C. So,
we will have quite a few more than that. So, as I said, not sure.
we will have quite more than that. Now less than 100, but she said we will have quite more than that. Quite more than that means from 50 to 100. Now, why C is wrong option? Now listen to this.
Sure of numbers, but of course we won't go over the maximum of 100.
We want WON''T. That means will not. We won't go over 100. We won't go over 100, more than 100, not possible. So A and C, they are the wrong options. And again, I tell you, sometimes right option can be confusing. If you eliminate wrong options, you are left with the right answer. So correct answer is B. Question number 13. Guests will start arriving at. Now, very confusing. Sometimes they say, usually guests arrive at 7:15, but this time they're going to arrive earlier than that and all that. By the time the guests are going to start coming, that will be your answer. There are 3 times, 7:15, 7:30 and 7:45. Clear? Okay, so let's see guest. And for guests, they can use the word first people. First people are the guests, they start coming, right? First people will start arriving at 7:30 or whatever, right? Let's see.
But it's likely that we will need all of you to work this weekend, so if any of you can't, please let me know as soon as possible. Right, so what time will the event start? Well, the invitation says guests should arrive between 7:30 and 7:45, but our experience is that there are always a few who like to arrive early, so we'll expect the first people at 7:15. As the numbers are quite large...
Okay, we'll expect the first people at 7:15. So, they said between 7:30 to 7:45 according to the card. But our experience and all that, so that's why it's option A. And the order in which they spoke, that is BCA. Now, question number 14. Entertainment will be A. Again, very interesting. There are 3 entertainments. 2 bande mukkar gaye, 1 reh gaya. That will be the right answer. The पहले magician ने आना था, लेकिन उसकी wedding anniversary आ गई. फिर comedian ने आना था, वो कहीं और engage हो गया. Okay? And अभी जो है वो live band आएगा. Whatever, right? So we got to see entertainment will be the final entertainment. If they say we were expecting a magician, we were expecting, right? We considered inviting a comedian. We thought, right? So the person who is final, that will be the answer, right?
Food will be served at around 8:30, and then, depending on how long the meal takes, the entertainment will start about 2 hours later. Now, for this, we were expecting a live band for the occasion, which is always fun. But apparently this has been cancelled due to illness. So, the hosts know someone who is a comedian who will be replacing the band. We had hoped that the resident magician who worked here through the summer would be able to help out, but they weren't keen on that idea.
Comedian, well done. See that they talked about magician. They wouldn't came with that idea. They wouldn't come with that idea. And live band, there is some problem. Someone is ill over there. Good. Now you understand? So long options, methodology is same. Practice, 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 and you will be fine. All right, let's go on. Questions 15 to 17. This question type is very, very important. We call it matching. There are only two parts of IELTS where you guys come across matching. In part 2, and in part 2, they are usually the last 4-5 questions. In part 3, again, they are the last questions, like 27 to 30 or 26 to 30. So this is important question type. Now we have it here in part 2, so it's going to be easy. Who will be responsible for the following jobs as the guests arrive? Who will be responsible for the following jobs? What are the jobs? Question number 15, offer drinks. Question number 16, take guests' coats and hats. Question number 17, show guests where to go. So who is going to do what? Like आप बर्तन धो लीजिएगा, आप खाना बना लीजिएगा, आप बर्तन लगा लीजिएगा, आप खाना खा लीजिएगा, something like that. Who is going to do what? The names are Susan, Ahmed, Gary, Olaf, and Monica. Now, first what you have to do, you have two hands. This finger is going to be on the question. This hand that is holding the pencil will move between A, B, C, D, right? For example, question number 15, offer drinks to guests. Now, what sort of traps can there be? Last year, it was Susan's duty to serve the drinks, but she couldn't perform well. So this time, I want to give this to Ahmed. Ahmed, are you ready for that? All right. So something like that. Who is going to do it? Ahmed is going to do it. Again, traps, right? If they talk about take guest coats and hats, this is a very sensitive job. I had thought about Gary, but Gary is already busy with other stuff. So Monica, you are going to do this. Answer is Monica. Okay, they go on like this, so you should understand. Now, let's see. Question number 15.
So, I'd just like to go through who's doing what when the guests arrive, and I think we'll make a few changes from the last party held here. If I remember correctly, it was Olav who coordinated the task of providing the guests with drinks. Or was it Ahmed? I'm not sure, but Gary asked to do it this time, so that will be his job. There's been no decision yet on what the drinks are going to be, but I hope they decide soon in case we need to order something special.
All right, so the answer is? Last year it was Olaf or Ahmad. She said, I'm not sure. But this year, this is Gary, right? So Gary is the right answer, but you will not write Gary, you will write C. Always remember, whenever they write A, B, C with the words, never write those words. Your answer will be absolutely wrong. You just need to label. This is called labeling. A, B, C is labeling. So correct answer is C. All right. Let's go on. Question number 16. Take guests' coats and hats. Now let's see who is going to do that.
Now, for receiving the guests' coats and hats, it's important we have someone experienced doing this, as we don't want guests losing their belongings. And Monica, last time this was your responsibility. Susan, I know you wanted to do this, but as the numbers are quite high for this event, I won't make a change here. Right.
I won't make a change here. So, Monica is going to do it. She said, Susan, numbers are very high, and I don't want the guests to lose their thing, so I won't make a change. Won't is W-O-N''T, means will not. Okay, answer is E, Monica. Is it clear, or shall I play it again? Okay, dobara? Yeah, isko maza aata hai.
Now, for receiving the guests' coats and hats, it's important we have someone experienced doing this, as we don't want guests losing their belongings. And Monica, last time this was your responsibility. Susan, I know you wanted to do this, but as the numbers are quite high for this event, I won't make a change here.
I won't make a change here. Okay. Now, question number 17. Show guests where to go. Like खाना वहाँ पे लगा हुआ है, आप तशरीफ ले जाएं and all that. Okay. Show guests where to go. Right? Who is going to do that?
Now, last time there was some confusion as to where guests were supposed to go once they had deposited their things, and we had guests roaming around the whole hotel. So, Ahmed and Olav, I believe you discussed the problems with Susan and thought she would be good at guiding guests after they had arrived. And I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that. Susan is going to that. Olaf discussed with Susan and he said Susan will do, and she said I'm fine with that, means that's my final decision. Okay, that's fine. Okay, now we go on. Questions 18 to 20. Complete the sentences below. Sometimes we have notes completion, sentence completion, table completion, flow chart completion and all that. Then they say write no more than 3 words. There is no number and maximum words are 3. That means minimum 1 or 2 or maximum 3. Now, in order to get the guests to move to the restaurant, the hotel manager will. Now, by the way, in the audio, as we've done the previous questions, that's the hotel manager who is talking. So, she is going to say, in order to invite the guests to the restaurant, I will make the announcement. You know, usually when we go to the weddings, what do they say? Roti khul gayi. Yeah, or they just uncover some food items and then they say, oh, roti khul gayi, chalo. Let's just start and all that. But they are a bit sophisticated. So the hotel manager is going to announce something. Roti khul gayi or whatever it is. Now, for hotel manager, she will say, I will, because she's the hotel manager. She will not say, a hotel manager will do it. She will use the pronoun, I will do it. So whatever she says after that, that will be the answer. So let's see. Question number 18.
Right. And now for some general instructions. Once the guests have arrived, they will be in and around the lounge area. And then at around 8:30, we need to get them to move to the restaurant for their meal. This often proves difficult and can take a long time, so I will ring a bell so that everyone knows it's time to eat. Hopefully.
I will ring a bell so that everyone knows it's time to eat. Ring a bell. That's right. And for hotel manager, she herself said, I will. I will ring a bell. Okay? Good. Question number 19. Seating plans. Seating plans means seating arrangement, and learn the spelling of this seating. We often confuse it with sitting, S-I-T-T-I-N-G. Seating arrangement, seating plan, we have this spelling, S-E-A-T-I-N-G. Seating plans will be placed on each table and also there will be seating arrangement at 2 places. One is on each table, like you guys are sitting, round table. On each table, and second they will have another seating plan somewhere else. The location of that seating plan will be your answer. Okay, so we pronounce it as seating, not sitting, right? Yeah. Question number 19.
Also, for this event there'll be a seating plan, so the guests won't be able to decide for themselves where to sit. They'll have to sit according to the plan. There will be a plan on each table, and I've been thinking about where to put the master plan so everyone can view it before they enter the restaurant. As they'll be spending quite a while in the lounge, I've decided to also put a plan there. This should speed up the start of the meal.
Lounge, exactly. The last part of the audio. Also, for also, they use the word also and there. Please listen again.
Also, for this event, there'll be a seating plan, so the guests won't be able to decide for themselves where to sit. They'll have to sit according to the plan. There will be a plan on each table, and I've been thinking about where to put the master plan so everyone can view it before they enter the restaurant. As they'll be spending quite a while in the lounge, I've decided to also put a plan there.
They'll be spending quite time in the lounge, so I've decided to put a plan there. Plan means seating plan, so lounge is the right answer. Lounge. Okay, last question. There will be a total of 3 dash. Total of 3 dash. Now 3 is number, so there's going to be something. There's going to be a total of 3. For example, if they say 3 people are going to make presentations, so there will be there will be a total of 3 presentations. If I say 3 people will deliver presentations, so that means there will be a total of 3 presentations, right? Okay, so if I say 3 people will be delivering meals, so that means there will be 3 meals, right? Let's see.
Once the meal starts, you'll all be very busy waiting on the tables, and I'm sure I don't need to tell you to be good-humoured and polite to all the guests. The organiser of the event will be saying a few words, and so will 2 of his colleagues. So, when the speeches start, all activity must stop in the restaurant, so that the 3 people giving them can be heard.
3 people giving them can be heard. Giving them means what? Speeches. Okay, so listen, they first use the word have a word. Have a word means they will deliver. So 1 person and his 2 colleagues. I play it again. You'll be very clear. Okay, this thing is called referencing. For speeches, they use the word these. For speeches, they use the word them. Okay, so I play this one again.
Once the meal starts, you'll all be very busy waiting on the tables, and I'm sure I don't need to tell you to be good-humoured and polite to all the guests. The organiser of the event will be saying a few words, and so will 2 of his colleagues.
The organizer of the event will be saying a few words, and so 2 of his colleagues. Now,
so, when the speeches start, all activity must stop in the restaurant.
when the speeches start, all activity must stop in the restaurant. So those 3 people will be giving speeches. And again,
So that the 3 people giving them can be heard.
3 people giving them. Them means speeches can be heard. Very simple. See, if you do IELTS listening logically, you can find your way. Thank you. Okay guys, now we have a map and we are going to see how to label the map. In IELTS listening part 2, you might come across a map. So now we are going to see how to deal with the map. If they give you map in actual exam, how to deal with it, what is it that you need to focus to find your answer. Section 2, questions 11 and 12. Label the map below. Write no more than 2 words. So you will have to pick up the words and then write them. Sometimes they give you map with labels. Labels means A, B, C, D. A is cafe, B is another place, C is another place, D is another place. So in that case, you will only write A, B, C, D. But otherwise, if they don't mention, now you got to pick up the words from the audio and you will write it down. And they say no more than 2 words. Can you see the compass there? North, south, west, and east. Now please do one thing. On top of the map where they have written boat trip, write there capital N. Capital N. What the N? Yeah? Good. On the right side, write capital E. On the left side, write capital W. And at the bottom of the map, write capital S. So S means south. N means north, E means east, and all that. Okay. Now, can you see what is it all about? Stop A, stop B, stop C, stop D. In the audio, when they start the audio, they will tell us what is the map about. Okay, they are going to tell us very, very clearly that this map is about this thing and all that. So, stop A is Green Banks. It means audio will start from stop A and the name of that stop is Green Banks. After that, when they come to question number 11, they will say stop B. Now, what is that stop? Stop B. Stop A is a bank. Stop B is what? Whatever it is, you will just write it there. All good? Okay, let's do it.
Section 2. You will hear a recorded message giving tourists travel information in a large city.
Thank you for calling the tourist line. There are many different ways of getting round the city, and we'd like to suggest some you may not have thought of. How about a city trip by boat? There are 4 main stopping points. From west to east, stop A, Greenbanks, stop B, City Bridge.
Clear? Very simple. Stop A, mentioned already. Stop B, City Bridge. Excellent. All good? Yeah, this is very simple one. Then they will talk about stop C, that is Roman landing. And finally, they will talk about stop D, and that will be your answer. So let's do it.
Stop C, Roman landing, and stop D, Newtown.
Stop D, Newtown, not Newton. Okay, Newtown. I'm playing this part again. All right.
Stop C, Roman landing, and stop D, Newtown.
Stop D is Newtown. You will write it as 2 words. See that? So simple. Okay, nothing is difficult. Yeah, sometimes when you looked at the map, you say, oh my God, and all that. You must be thinking, but it's all very simple. So please change your attitude towards IELTS. Huh? Newton लिखा है, कोई बात नहीं. आप अपने काम से काम रखें भाई. Mind your own business, हाँ? Yeah. आप जैसे लोग होते हैं जिनको पता होता है महल्ले में आज कौन आया, कौन गया, किसने क्या पकाया, हाँ? All right. So, questions 13 to 18. Complete the table below. Now we have table completion. Okay? Table completion. Write no more than 2 words and or a number. So, 2 words maximum plus number. It can be 1 word minimum, 2 words or 2 words with number. Okay, stop A. Now they're going to continue this talk. Stop A. Main booking office. First boat 8 a.m. Last boat dash p.m. Very simple. आखरी गड्डी कदों जांदी? पंजाबी है. Last train, last bus, last boat. So last boat leaves at, and they've already mentioned p.m. So you will just write the time. Now listen, how to write the time. If the time is 7:30, how will you write it? 7 colon or single dot. Both are fine. 7 colon and 30, right? If the time is like 8 o'clock, so you can simply write 8, or you can write 8 colon 00. Okay, either way it is fine. Or you can even write dot, 8 dot 00, that is fine. Okay, now let's see what is the time, and it's about the last boat. Question number 13.
You can find the main booking office at stop A. The first boat leaves at 8 a.m. and the last one at 6:30 p.m.
And the last one at 6:30 p.m. And you might be thinking this test is so simple, so easy. Thoda sa ठहर जाए. I was thinking the same. When I cut the audios, I was like, oh my God, this is so easy. Should I change to another test? Let's reach section 3 and section 4. फिर धुआं निकलेगा. Okay, so don't worry. Yeah, until this point it's very easy. Sometimes 2 sections are so easy, but some 2 sections are really complicated. So don't worry. Okay, yeah, I was going to change this test, but when I reach section 3 and section 4, really there's good thing. Level of difficulty is very high there. Okay guys, then we've got question number 14. Palace has lovely. Now underline lovely. What is the other word for lovely? Beautiful. Okay, so for lovely, they are going to say beautiful, something beautiful. Whatever they say, for example, lovely park. They say beautiful park. So the answer will be park. For lovely, they might use any other word. Okay, charming. Charming park, beautiful park, lovely park, and all that. Now I play the audio. Please listen and answer question number 14.
There are also many attractions you can visit along the river. At stop A, if you have time, you can visit the fine 16th century palace here, built for the king, with its beautiful formal gardens. It's very near the booking office. Now you can enjoy every corner of this superb residence.
Acha, with its beautiful formal gardens. Now you can write formal gardens because the word choice is no more than 2 words, or otherwise even if you write gardens, your answer is correct. Okay, formal gardens or only gardens. Gardens, you know, baagh, park, yeah. Okay, now stop B, attraction. Now it's going to be the name of the place. Stop A, what is the attraction for stop A? Palace. So like palace, it's going to be another attraction, and that is stop B. So let's see what that is. And for this attraction, they say, why don't you visit the cinema? It's so nice. So attraction is cinema, something like that. Whatever they talk about, that will be the attraction.
Stop B. Why don't you visit Tower Restaurant with its wide range of refreshments?
Why don't you visit? No. I'll play it again. Yeah, restaurant is even one thing. If you don't understand the first word, important word is restaurant. So leave the first word and write only restaurant. That'll be the right answer. Okay, I'm playing it again. Focus.
Stop B. Why don't you visit Tower Restaurant with its wide range of refreshments?
Why don't you visit? No, Tower. Yeah, you understand like that. Tower. Nahi khamba hunda. Yeah. Tower Restaurant, Tower. So in that case, it's a good idea to not to write the first word. Only write restaurant, your answer is perfectly fine. Okay, instead, if you write wrong word here, and then your answer will be wrong. So be careful with that. Okay, question number 16. Has good, underline has good. Give me the synonym of that. Has good, nice, better. Okay, write it there, wonderful. Underline has good and write there, wonderful. Wonderful dash. So whatever they say after wonderful, that will be your answer. Let's see, question number 16.
This is a place where you can sit and enjoy the wonderful views over the old commercial and banking centre of the city.
Wonderful? Views. Well done. Fantastic. Wonderful views of city center. For city center, they use the word commercial and this and that. All clear? Good. So see that if you don't focus these words, for example, word is has good and synonym is wonderful. If you don't focus something like that, answer will come and go and your pen will not move. And then you will smile like this. Yeah, like this you will smile. And you will look more confident with no answer. Okay? All right. Now, let's go on. Question number 17, stop C. What is stop C? What is attraction? Museum. And then they say, bookshop specializing in the dash of local area. Underline specializing. There is a bookshop specializing. It means in that bookshop you can find the books on a specific title. So underline specializing and write there, good range of local, and then something. It can be a topic on which the books are written. Okay, so let's see what that is.
Stop C is the area where, in the 1st century AD, invading soldiers crossed the river. This was much shallower than it is now. That's why this area is called Roman Landing. There's an interactive museum to visit here, with a large shop which has a good range of local history books.
Good range of local history books. What will be the answer? Yeah, good range of local history books, and that means specializing in the history of the local area. Good range of local history books. Got it? History will be the answer. Okay, question number 18. Entertainment complex, and they have dash cinema. Now, it can be a type of cinema, 3D cinema, you know. We've got 3D. What was, IMAX. After 3D, there was another technology, IMAX. So it can be 3D cinema, IMAX cinema, or any other type of cinema, right? Let's see what do they say. And whatever they say about the cinema, that will be your answer. Like this is cinema with dash. Cinema with dash means that is going to be your answer.
At the furthest point of the trip, stop D, the most exciting place to visit is the new entertainment complex with 7-screen cinema, bowling alley, and video games arcade.
7-screen cinema. Simple. Bowling alley and video games, that's already mentioned. So answer is 7-screen. 7 as a number and screen as a word. I'm playing it again.
At the furthest point of the trip, stop D, the most exciting place to visit is the new entertainment complex with 7-screen cinema, bowling alley, and video games arcade.
All clear? Very good. Let's go on. Questions 19 and 20. Write no more than 3 words and or a number for each answer. Question number 19. How often do the top bus company tour runs? Look here. How often means frequency. How often means how many times. For example, how often do you shower? And you say once a month. Okay, so once a month is a frequency. Once a month or once a year? Or every rain? Okay, every day. All right, every day. It's shower, not Peshawar, huh? How often do you go to Peshawar? Every month. Okay, so how often means frequency. How often do you brush your teeth? Brush? What is brush? Okay, twice a day, thrice a day, right? Exactly. So how often means it's going to be frequency, and they will tell us like the buses run after every 20 minutes, after every 30 minutes, or after every something like that. So, like sometimes you say har aadhe ghante ke baad ek bus jati hai. That is also how often. Okay, so let's see.
Besides the boat tours, there are city buses. 2 companies offer special services. The top bus company runs all its tours with a live commentary in English. Tours leave from 8:30 a.m. every 20 minutes.
8:30 a.m. every 20 minutes. Now, what is every 20 minutes? That is how often. So the answer is every 20 minutes. 8 a.m. cannot be the answer. How often? 8 a.m. Not at all. It should be what time. If it is what time, then you can write 8 a.m. They said how often. So the answer is every 20 minutes. Listen again.
Besides the boat tours, there are city buses. 2 companies offer special services. The top bus company runs all its tours with a live commentary in English. Tours leave from 8:30 a.m. every 20 minutes.
Okay? Tour leaves from 8:30 a.m. every 20 minutes. That's right. Question number 20. Where can you catch a number 1 sightseeing tour from? Number 1 sightseeing tour. Where can you catch? Where can you catch means location. Like, in Lahore, we've got sightseeing bus, a double-decker and all that, right? So where can you catch it? Where can you catch that? Probably from Gaddafi Stadium. Mall Road. Okay, they start from Gaddafi Stadium, then they take a tour and all that. So where can you catch the number 1 sightseeing? It's going to be location. Where can you catch? Catch doesn't mean you're going to catch. Catch the bus means bus pe sawar hona. Like that, okay? So let's start.
There are departures from Central Station, Castle Hill, and Long Walk. This is a hop-on, hop-off service, and tickets are valid for 24 hours. For further details, call Top Bus on 0208 944 7810. The number 1 sightseeing tour is available with a commentary in 8 languages. Buses depart from Central Station every 5 to 6 minutes from about 9 a.m.
Buses depart from. Where can you catch? Buses depart from. So the answer is Central Station. The audio went on, and thank God you guys were waiting. You were not writing anything. Okay? Did you understand, or I play it again? All good? Okay. Very good. Thank you.